Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel and welcome to a very sunny May day. Today is May the 10th and I thought it was about time I gave you an update on project LS400. As you can see, it's sitting right behind me, and if you look closely you can see it's dripping wet. I just washed the car. So it's been a while since I did an episode on project LS400 and I thought it was about time you guys got an update. So let's go on a ride. So as you can see, it's a beautiful pre-summer or spring evening. It's 17 degrees Celsius outdoors and it's real nice weather. I've been out on my motorcycle almost all day and I wanted to do an evening stroll in my trusty old Lexus LS400. The car is on the road since, well, 5 weeks, just over a month now, and well, I've been enjoying it. I have started filming a new episode of Project LS400, but I started filming that several times, and every time I had to quit filming, either because I ran out of time, and nowadays I have to work outdoors, and when the weather got bad I also had to quit filming and quit working on the car. And at this moment I'm waiting for parts. I started filming 9 days ago on an episode, but I had to stop because I waited for parts and I just got message they came in, and tomorrow it's Saturday, I don't have time to film. But anyway, I am working on the car, but I just haven't been able to film an episode, so please forgive me folks. But anyway, to get you up to speed, what have I been doing to the car? Well, if you can remember from the last real episode of Project LS400, I've been working on this central cluster over here where I installed a new LCD screen in the climate control panel, and I had to fix the illumination of the main radio LCD screen. Well, both of them are done now, they are fixed. The only thing is that the temperature gauge or the temperature indication fades out every now and then and it returns. And that's not a problem with the LCD screen itself, it's more of a problem with the electronics inside. But most important thing is that the climate control is working and working perfectly fine. The radio is working, apart from the fact that I don't have FM stereo reception, and it's pretty hard to figure that out, but that's something for later. And if you have any clue as to why these LS400 Pioneer standard radios have such poor FM stereo reception, please let me know down below in the comments, because that seems to be a common problem with these Pioneer radios, and I haven't found an easy fix or a fix in general for that. So if you will, please fill me in. Okay, back to the current state of the car. You may remember that when I had a car, before I put it in winter storage last year, it sat outside at a farmhouse and the interior was getting real moist. I had all kinds of condensation on the windows, on the inside of the car. And if you've been following Project LS400 for a longer period of time, you may know that I found a lot of clues of moisture in the car. I found that in the trunk, and I also found that in the door panels, on the innards of the door. Oh, let's get way over here. Let's put now this indicator. Now we can pass. Thank you, sir. But I found a lot of clues that there have been a lot of moisture in the cars, and I thought that the car had been sitting outside for a longer period of time with a door or a window open. But now for the first time in my ownership, the car sat outdoors for a longer period of time, and I had a lot of water inside the car. Even the roof liner over here in this top left corner was completely wet after a day of rain. And whoa, let's take way here. What I wanted to say, the last thing I did before I got the car back on the road last year is to fix the rust above the windscreen, on the roof skin on the outside, just on the leading edge. And that's when I found that the windscreen has been replaced at a point in time. And according to the rust on the windscreen frame, or the window frame, it hadn't been properly installed. Before you install a new windscreen, you have to treat the metal, then you put on the sealant, and then you put the window in, and apparently that was done incorrectly, leading to a lot of rust at the A-pillar on the passenger side. So what I did, I re-investigated the sealant and the amount of sealing over there, and I found a small leak over here. So what I did, I pulled out the window trim on the front and applied new sealant. I just put a large goop of sealant in there and then reinstalled the window trim, and ever since the car has been completely dry while it's been sitting out in the rain. Now, prior to this beautiful spring weather, we had a long period of rain where the car was sitting outside, and the car has been completely dry on the inside. So I call that problem fixed. And what happened when the weather got better, the car was sitting in the warm, the interior has been drying up more and more, and the feel inside the interior in terms of moisture and freshness has also greatly improved. So I think that has been a problem that has been in the car for a longer period of time, and now that's finally fixed. So that's one thing that I did to the car. Second thing I did is I sent the car to the workshop to get an alignment and to get the transmission flushed. It needed an alignment because when I had my hands off the steering wheel, it would pull to the right, so I always had to lightly counter steer. Now that problem is solved and the steering feels as it should be. I'm happy with that. The transmission flush I done because the car had this hesitation under acceleration problem, and I wanted to be sure that everything in the transmission was working fine. There was pretty clear ATF in the gearbox, but just to be sure, I found that the transmission had been flushed like 10-11 years ago. And if you saw this episode, I'll leave the link in the top corner here. When I pulled the sump from the transmission, you could see the sealant was applied on the outside of the bolt holes, causing the entire transmission to leak. So yeah, that raised some questions about the quality of work and the quality of the flush that had been done prior. So I had it reflushed, and I asked my mechanic to assess the stuttering under acceleration, if it could be the transmission in his opinion. Now, he's a very smart guy and I trust him on his word, and he drove with it and he recognized the problem. He could reproduce it the same way I can, and he said, well, I don't think there's anything wrong with the transmission. Oh, I have to brake for some small birdies over here, try not to overrun them. But he said, in his opinion, the transmission is fine and the cause would be outside the transmission. So I've tried some things, I worked, and the things I tried are all related to the throttle position. I mean, I can give the car this much throttle input and immediately the stuttering and clunking starts to come back. So I've been focusing on that. I ordered a new throttle position sensor, just a cheap one, an aftermarket one, to test it. It would make a difference. And I ordered some other replacement parts, just El Cheapo brands, for testing purposes. The reason I chose cheap is because original Lexus parts are extremely expensive, and if one of the 30-year-old parts, sensors or electronic parts on this car is wrong, a cheap aftermarket replacement one will be working fine for the first period of time, and if that makes a difference, I can always order the expensive Lexus part of it. But as said, I replaced the throttle position sensor. That did not make any difference, so got the original back on and everything is the same. And I must say, when I'm cruising on these back roads, the car is running perfectly fine. It's quiet, it's smooth, it's a flying carpet, really. I really love how the car drives. Anyway, let's give these folks a little bit of way. These are narrow roads over here. I also replaced the fuel pump, and I think that was really necessary because the car has been running on LPG for a very long period of time, and well, that causes the fuel pump to get stuck. It's hardly used, and when you have low fuel level in the tank, it's partially sitting dry. So that needed replacement anyway. So that's something I've done to the car. But there's another thing I've done, and I want to keep that for a future episode of Project LS400. It also didn't resolve my problem, and I did a lot of research online, and there are hints, and I also have a hunch that are pointing in the direction of one sensor, and I ordered that sensor. But problem is we have some holidays over here, and it took just over a week to get in, so I was waiting for a part before I could continue filming a new episode of Project LS400. But anyway, that's what I've been doing on the car, and I really hope I can get back to work on the car to fix this problem. But I have a suspicion it may be quite a complicated diagnostics and fault finding on this. But if I solve it, I think it will be helpful to a lot of people. So please be patient, my dear viewers. So anyway, that's what has been going on with Project LS400. And well, yeah, I hope to start filming the episode again real soon. And I'll post it as soon as I have something fixed, because I don't want to film an episode without any outcome or with any real solution to my problem. So that may take a little bit of time, but as soon as I find a fix, I will upload it. So anyway, that's all I have to tell you on this update on Project LS400. So anyway, I would say stay tuned and keep watching the channel. I also have a lot of interesting real-life car reviews upcoming, and some updates on my small motorcycle. So anyway, that's it for now, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!